They will not be able to conduct elections in the Northeast. It's quite different from they will not be able to conduct elections in all parts of the Northeast.
So what are you saying now?
INEC has said that they will not be able to conduct elections in all parts of the Northeast.
They will
conduct elections in the Northeast,
in
but
some
not
parts.
in some parts. Yes, but not all the parts.
Now, whether they conduct in some, why should they not conduct in all parts? Those parts are not part of Nigeria.
Security situation.
That's what I'm saying. So we have to even go and ask ourselves what exactly is happening. We don't know what is happening. We could all be taken for a ride, all of us, by some people. And we're here breaking our heads.
What do you think is happening?
I just told you what Pastor Tindabakar suggested.
So are you saying?
And he's a leader.
Are you saying we should go with the suggestion? Are you also suggesting that the elections be, suspended for now? Is that what you're suggesting very clearly?
The law says that if we're at war, the president could or has the power to now say we're at war, so we can't hold elections, so National Assembly will give extension. But at no time should the extension exceed 6 months. At every stage, it should not be more than 6 months. So we can have 6 months 20 times.
In this particular case, if we do go ahead with the elections, because the PDP, the opposition is already saying that there are plans by, the PDP and some other people to ensure that these elections don't hold. But if we do go ahead, because INEC is saying that we will go ahead with these elections, do you think that we will have a problem of legitimacy?
Nigeria has always having the problem of legitimacy, and it has never stopped us. Personally, I would rather the elections held. Then, as usual, some people will go to court. And whenever it's decided. And the issue of courts brings me to something else. You see, I continue going back to that. And why I continue going back to that is, that has been the attitude of Nigerians. Let's sweep it under the carpet. Let's forget it. It's not serious. That's not the major thing. We're talking about the economy. Somebody telling me about certificate. This man was a general. It is this attitude of, don't worry, it doesn't matter. That brought us to where we are today. Corruption.
How did we get there? Is it not, most leaders, they do it the same way. If you go on Twitter now, a lot of people are questioning if we say General Buhari has no certificate or hasn't been able to present it. They are also questioning that the same law tells us to declare our assets. And once they say the president hasn't actually done that. No. So if they're complaining, I'm giving you. No, you can go.
President said, I will not make it public. Let us get it right.
No.
And I don't give it, because people have been saying that.
That word, yes.
Not that he won't declare.
Because it was on camera.
The law says he will declare. So if he doesn't declare, he said, get it right, get me right. My constituency is Nigeria. If the law says, declare, which the law says, and President Jonathan refuses to declare that he is committing an illegality.
Are you aware if he's done that?
I asked somebody, to my knowledge, yes, because he said, I will not make it public. I don't give it, when it was questioned on camera by you people, and he said, I don't give a damn about this of making it public.
Then the certificate issue, but what I know from this constitution, you mustn't also declare it, make it public.
Can you read that said that you must make your declaration public?
No. The same law that you have said doesn't tell you that you must make your assets public. It still doesn't make you to declare your certificate public.
No, it does. That's what I just told you the laws now. Constitution says you have to have such qualification.
Good.
Section 31 of the Electoral Act says attach it to your form.
Is the same attachment on declaration.
Where does that?
No, we've seen others that have listed yes.
You see,
tell us more about this, because
that's what I'm telling you, and you're bringing an argument that is not logical.
No, it is. It is logical.
Excuse me. The law says attach your credentials to this form. The law says in Section 31, and says that you must present your personal credentials, which are certificates or whatever you have, and then Section C in the form says attach them. Then the same law says that ANEC should publish it. That's the law. ANEC should publish it. Can you tell me the law that says that ICPC or any of them should publish the declaration? That's what I'm telling you. I'm saying what the law says. So it is the discretion of the man, like Yar'Adua did, to Yar'Adua publish his own. He didn't wait for any law. But that's his own. Which was why when President Jonathan was confronted with what Yar'Adua did, he said, I don't give a damn.
Another matter
about
out
the
there,
publicity of it, the publication of it.
right? Another matter out there is that quite a number of people, we've met some of them who have said, look, at the moment we only have the temporary voter card. And INEC has said, look, if you don't have the permanent voter card, you will not be allowed to vote. And some of those people are saying, look, we've gone repeatedly several times to see how we can get a temporary voter card, and we have not. And
Permanent.
they will not want to be disenfranchised. So, and INEC has said, look, they need to collect these voter cards. They've decentralized the collection point. So how do you see this playing out? Is there any legal requirements if they do all they can, and maybe for some technical reasons they are not able to get their PVC? It means they cannot vote.
That is true.
How should INEC handle all of those?
The way to handle it is where they are going about it. For instance, I personally have collected my PVC. And I went twice or thrice before I got my PVC. If you take it, because I want to vote. And I'm going to vote, unless I'm dead on that day. I'm going to vote. So if you take it seriously, you go there, eventually get your vote, you get your card. If you don't get it, you cannot vote. What they are trying to reduce is the incidence of rigging or illegal voting, where an underage child, person will go and vote and things like that. So, but because with all that INEC has done, and to get to the level of PVC, anybody who has his PVC is actually qualified to vote in Nigeria.
Okay, so at the end of the day, let me move back to INEC in the Northeast. If elections hold on February 14 across the country, and then in the Northeast, in maybe say elections hold in only 10 local governments, and INEC is not able to conduct elections in the remaining local governments, and if security says, look, go ahead, you can do it, and then maybe some governor says, yes, you can do it, but they are not able, and we all go ahead with the elections, what is the implication of that?
Right now, I've asked that question to say, I'd rather we went ahead and did the election. And then people could now decide to challenge that election in court by saying, look, this thing wasn't in all the 36 states of the federation, because we're talking about Northeast. Northeast is not a state. It's a zone made up of some 6 or 7 or so states. So you could have in some states in the Northeast without having the whole of Northeast.
But you know that...
So somebody could go to court and say, look, my state, for instance, there was an election there. And then we hear what they call about that.
But given how very boisterous the environment is at the moment, do you think people will be emotional? They'll tell, look, what do you mean? I didn't vote and you declare results. How will they take that before you eventually go to court?
That would not be the first time. That would not be the first time.
Shouldn't we be working towards avoiding that kind of scenario?
That's what we are working towards with this PVC. In Anambra State the other time, there are a lot of people. In fact, of what again, they even said that even the then governor, Peter Obi, didn't vote, or his father didn't vote. Things like that. So, you see, we are working towards these things. I wouldn't want us to totally destroy because of a feeling of, oh, we haven't arrived there. Let's not destroy the one we've built up. Because, INEC definitely is better today than it was 4 years ago than it was 8 years ago.
Well, you do know that, in some places, like in Lagos State, they had to start the civil. In fact, they said that some local governments were lost entirely. So they just started the registration process again, and then they gave them temporary voters card. Now, imagine a situation where those entire communities are not able to get their PVCs. Are you saying they should just, it's okay, you have to deal with it anyway. You didn't get your card, you didn't get your card.
If the law says, if the INEC law rules say PVC only, that's what I'm talking about. Any exceptions to make and what lead to corruption.
The question is this. INEC has set a rule which by itself it could not fulfill. It also knows that in places like Niger State, they've not been able to roll out any PVCs there. Will you say that the entire Niger State should not vote because of something that is your own fault?
The law is the law.
It's not the law. It's not the law.
What is
the law does not say that if you don't have permanent voters card. That is INEC's rule, as you rightly pointed out.
The law set up INEC and gave it mandate to do certain things. So the regulations of INEC have the force of law.
Are you saying? Are you suggesting?
It doesn't.
Just a moment. Are you suggesting?
Morality and law are not the same.
It's not morality. We're not talking morality here. We're talking rules. We're talking rules and laws are two different things. We're saying that, for instance, if you're not able to roll out PVCs in a state as big as Niger State, for no fault of the people of Niger State, are you saying then that the entire Niger State will not vote? Is that what you're saying?
Answer me now. What does the rule say about voting? What entitles you to vote? What what document are you supposed to hold that will make you...
So, Odidika, do you think that this kind of situation...
It's not a right or wrong matter
Just a
here.
moment. The question is, do you think that this sort of situations engender a non-violent election?
See, what we should be advocating is, look, INEC amend the rule. Allow people who, in a place like Niger State, where you have not given them PVCs, allow them to use the temporary card to vote. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Amend the rule. If it's not amended, keep to the rule.
All right, we'll have to let it go. Mr. Kenneth Odidika, a legal practitioner and the public affairs analyst, thank you for coming on this morning.
Pleasure.